Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Broken Brian. And let's just kind of take a look at what's happened this past week in the gaming arena. And not a lot of it is good. First, let's talk about EA. They're a huge gaming country, been around forever. Electronic Arts, they're big into all the sports games, and they've got their fingers in every genre of gaming. And now their CEO, was it the CEO? One of their top guys. CEO Andrew Wilson thinks putting ads in the games will be a profitable growth driver. Here's where I think he's wrong. As someone who plays games, and I classify myself as a casual gamer. I'm not a huge gamer. I do enjoy solo games. That's my bread and butter. Games I can just play, pop in, play with a physical copy, and just have fun. I do enjoy online play every now and then, and I've played a couple live service games over the years. I think the only one I've played in the past year is Fortnite, and I'm not really good at it. I just do it occasionally when a couple of friends send me messages. Hey, hop on. I'm like, okay, but I'm going to be a hindrance to you. But okay, I'll play. And fine. That's okay. I'll do it. But if I'm logging into like Fortnite or say like Helldivers 2 or something like that, and I'm sitting watching ads while I'm waiting in the lobby for match to start off or to do all that, eventually I'm just going to stop playing because I already paid money for the game and I want to play the game. What they're probably looking at is how mobile games are making money, but they fail to realize that most of those games are free and they make their money on the transactions and advertisements within. So the only way I'm going to sit through a game on a console or PC that has ads is if I get that game 100% free. I'm not going to pay $70 and then get bombarded with ads. I'm just not. I think if they do this with the live service games, this will kill the live service industry. Not industry, but the genre. I mean, no one's going to do it. You know where everyone's going to go? Everyone's going to go back to Mario Kart 8 and do that type of live service. Going back to Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, things like that you can do with your friends. And Nintendo's got that right. They've they did make a mistake and say, oh, we created a DIE department and we'll see how well that goes and how long that lasts. But I have a feeling eventually that'll disappear because Nintendo likes to stay out of politics, generally speaking. So they just want to make their games and make their money. But I think EA is totally wrong on this. Even if it's a standalone game, like if I had ads waiting for Breath of the Wild or Hogwarts Legacy to while loading, watching ads and stuff like that, I'm just not into it. I'm not paying for a game. I'm not paying to be advertised to. So this is where a lot of us older gamers were like, we come from the generation where you bought the game, you put in the game, never got updated, no ads, no nothing. That's what we like. And that's what we'll do. And this is going to push people away from the consoles. But the console industry might be shrinking even more. I mean, even on Game Developer again, they're making major cuts at Microsoft in their Xbox arena. They've announced, I was trying to find the article I read and I could not find it, but basically they're pushing it to no longer Microsoft Gaming is what they're calling it. So basically it's their Xbox Game Pass rebranded and pushed to all consoles. To Sony, to Nintendo, to PC, because they've tried to push it separate, Microsoft Gaming on your PC, Xbox Live, and they tried to merge Xbox into the PC, into the Microsoft gaming, and now they're kind of in this weird limbo area of they've got these two separate departments and they're merging them together, which I think for efficiency's sake is probably a good idea. Even though it's never been fully realized, they're still the two separate areas, but they do kind of overlap. And I think this is a good idea. But with this, they're cutting so much from their Xbox team, and they're just buying up properties and smaller studios and bringing their content into their service versus putting more money into their console. So, game developer and several other articles I've read have kind of basically said we may be seeing the loss of the Xbox. Microsoft Xbox may be becoming the new Sega. And what do I mean by that? For years, growing up, it was Nintendo or Sega. Which camp were you in? Nintendo or Sega? Nintendo or Sega? And then Nintendo was it would shift back and forth on new releases and things like that, new console releases. It would shift back and forth of who was kind of had the most market share, but eventually Nintendo overtook, and Sega just kind of said, okay. I think they kind of knew the writing was on the wall before they released the Dreamcast, but definitely when they released the Dreamcast, they were like, yeah, this is it for us. And don't get me wrong, the Dreamcast was a great system. It was very innovative. It had the little portable part you could take with you and kind of still like play mini games within that little Tamagotchi type thing. And I mean, it was really cool, really groundbreaking, but they just knew that it was either too ahead of its time in some areas and way behind in some. So the Dreamcast just died. And so, yeah, I think Microsoft is becoming the new Sega because after that debacle, Sega is just a gaming. They create games. You know, the Sonic games. I mean, I can still hear the Sega logo just going off in my ears when I think about it growing up. You know, Sega. I mean, I can hear it. I mean, it's just clear as I'm literally hearing it. I can hear it in my head. It's so ingrained in me. But within the next couple of years, we could be down to just two major consoles, and that would be PlayStation and Nintendo. So I'm not sure what's going on with these people and why it seems like they're trying to get as much money as fast as possible because they don't want to do the work that they've done in the past. They want to make things easier. But I mean, Sony went full on crazy with the whole Stellar Blade thing. And just to sum it up, they said, okay, you need an account for PlayStation to get in here. Okay. And a lot of people are like, well, what's the big deal? Well, here's the big deal. You already paid for the game, and you should be able to log in and do it. And if you create a personal account, okay, boom, and you do something that goes against community standards or things like that, you break the rules, fine. That account gets banned. Your IP gets banned, or your username, or something like that, and you got to start from scratch, hoping that you will make better decisions than the past. Now, with the PlayStation Network account, what that means is you start bullying somebody in Helldivers 2, and all your games on the PlayStation Network are cut off. Anything you've purchased through them, you may not even be able to. Someone said this, I don't know if it's true, but it can lock your PlayStation without having to reset it to factory settings and reset up a new account and start downloading and purchasing games again. I don't think that's true. I think it does. They can lock you out a lot of your games. Not all of them, but a lot of them that go through the PlayStation Network. So if you have an account that signs on and you do something they don't like on one game, you're out of all of them. That's a bit extreme in my opinion. Because sometimes, you know, people really haven't been in the old school lobbies and realized that a lot of the gaming was done with the knowledge that you would never, ever see that person. So, psyching them out and trying to tear them down with your words was part of the strategy of the game on live service games. That was part of the strategy is you psych them out, they start doing less, they start making more mistakes, you win. That's, I mean, that's literally Call of Duty. That's really what it is. That is Call of Duty in a nutshell. And I mean, honestly, I think Sony made a huge deal like that, and because of that, they've locked. I I was trying to find the list, but I couldn't find one that really fit well on the screen that I could show you. But you can look it up. There are around 200 countries that are now blocked from the PlayStation Network. Some of the ones you would guess, some of the Middle Eastern countries that are like, we don't want a specific type of content. Don't you dare push it in our country. Those are locked out. There's some countries that I didn't know existed, and I was like, okay, never even heard of this one. Okay, and basically the entire Caribbean is locked out of the PlayStation Network now, and for not agreeing to their terms and service is like they've locked out complete countries from having access. And here's the problem: if you're doing that, why are you cutting off 200 countries that are willing to purchase your product? That's stupid. That's a bad business decision. If I'm running a business, I'm gonna be like, here's my product. Here's product X, and I'm going to sell X to whoever I can, except for Madagascar. Why would I do that? If people in Madagascar want it, I make money. So this whole locking countries out of the PSN network and the ability to purchase games, a lot of the games through the Sony network, is beyond me. It's like, I don't know what they're thinking. It's so bizarre. It's very weird that you would literally cut your customer base, like a section of your customer base, just completely out. So literally, I really don't know what's going on with Sony. I don't know what's going on with EA and Microsoft. It seems like they want full control, maximum profits, but they don't want to do innovation or creativity. They want to repackage, resell what they have, and continue to control the developers. Well, that's wrong. You know why? And I'll be honest, I've got quite a few physical copies of games, but all my on Nintendo Switch, but all my digital ones, with the exception of maybe like 2 or 3, are indie games, and they're fun as all get out. I mean, Boomerang Fu is probably my favorite one right now. It's just absolutely just a blast. It is a simple, fun game. I mean, literally solo play or playing with my kids. It's just a hoot. It's just fun. And I think that was like $9, or that may have been free. I don't even remember. But I mean, yeah, it's kind of like a mobile. Some of these indie games are very cheap, and I can get a hold of these indie games. Why not? I'm not getting ads. I'm not being told what to do, how I can play the game. Once I've purchased the game, I'm allowed to play it. Full stop. So indie developers are going to start becoming bigger as long as they can hold out from being bought out by other studios before they make it to market. Indie games are going to see a rise, in my opinion. And I think that's a good thing. I just think the big studio heads are just losing their absolute minds. I really don't get it. And it was Jeremy over from Geeks and Gamers that posted a meme a few days ago that I found was funny. And I was like, this is absolute truth right here. It's like everyone's just doing their own thing, and Nintendo's just kind of being like, we're going to keep doing what we're doing, and we're trying all this stuff, and the rest of the major guys are just falling off. And I'm like, that is so true. I mean, just like, yeah, EA, Sony, and Microsoft are just like completely just lost their minds. It's like they've just entered the gaming industry for the first time. It's like, what are you doing? I was like, You're trying strategies that you know for a fact won't work. Um, because you want to have more control, and the gamers are deciding, boom, tons of money lost with Stellar Blade because a lot of people refunded it a lot. They lost a lot of money with Helldivers 2. There's another game, I can't remember what it's called, that's kind of a Japanese era game that's falling under the same PSN login force that Stellar Blade was. And these are games I don't play, but I do keep my eye on what's going on because I don't know how it's going to affect the games I do play. I mean, right now I'm having a blast just playing Sandland. If you haven't played it, it's a great game. I got it on my PC. It's fun. It's literally like you're playing the anime, and I'm having a blast. I'm probably only about 40 or 50 hours into it. I'm not that deep into it, but I'm having fun. I've got no ads. I don't have to log in. I just I log into my Steam account to launch the software. That's it. I don't have to log into another account once I load the game. I just load my save file and go. And that's what gamers want. That's what we want. We don't want to be tracked. We don't want our information bought and sold. We don't want to be, I said, you're an idiot to someone on some game, and then now I'm locked out of all my games. No one wants that. You know, gaming can be very frustrating. Just like when me and my kids do game night, there's a time every now and then we got to put a game on hiatus because it just tempers flare a little bit too much. We got to put that one off to the side for a while and just not play that one until we kind of all be like, okay, we did get a little heat last time. Let's think about what happened, what we did, and let's not do that again. And that's a good strategy for some of these live action games when people get a little too over the top. That happens. Just say, hey, you know what? 30 days, you can sit down and see why you did what you did. Banning them completely, which is what Sony does, is just ridiculous. So that's just kind of the recap of what I've seen the past week in the gaming industry. And honestly, it's a bit nuts. But I mean, I get more and more excited for that new Switch 2 coming out next year because I'll be able to get my games and keep playing my games and not have to worry about ads or logins or getting banned for whatever crazy reason that the console creator decides. So I'm just saying it's a bit weird out here in the gaming world. And even though I'm not in it, I'm watching it, and it's like watching. There's no good analogy except for that meme that that I showed you. That it's just, yeah, that's the best analogy I can give for it. It's like, what are you doing? Nintendo's not doing anything, and y'all are scrambling, doing all this weird, crazy stuff, and you're falling off the cliff. So it's gonna happen. So that's is what it is. So until next time, my friends, as always, I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it.